Ariel Winter survived a traumatic childhood in Hollywood, and we need to talk about it because her mother forced her to work at the age of 4. She denied her food. She pretty much starved her. She put her in these little skimpy outfits at the age of 11 and 12, and she definitely oversexualized her. These Hollywood parents make their children work because they kind of want to be stars through them, and it looks like Ariel's mother hasn't learned her lesson. She's calling Ariel a liar and claims that she's making it all up. So let's get into it. Ariel Winter is an actress who's been working ever since she was a child. She's been in a bunch of different projects, but she's best known for her role on the television show Modern Family. Ariel claims that growing up in the spotlight wasn't easy. She was quoted saying there wasn't a lot of connections with people during her childhood because she wasn't allowed to have them. She claims that she spent the first 14 years of her life in isolation. We speak about a bunch of different child stars on my channel and how difficult it is, and Ariel Winter is no exception. Her mother forced her to become an actress at the age of 4, and she was pretty successful. I mean, she landed a few different television shows. She listened to instruction. I mean, she was a great actress as a 4-year-old, but that's a tough position for a child to be in. It was never her choice to be an actress, and being an actress, a child actor alone, is very difficult, but having a nasty mother makes it 10 times worse. Ariel was quoted saying, "When I was younger, we all suffered the negative effects of my mother. All of her siblings separated a little, and everyone was trying to figure out how to deal with the past trauma of their mother in their own way." Let's talk a little bit about Crystal Workman, because this woman is Ariel's mother. And Ariel claims that her mother didn't give her enough food, would call her awful names, and would physically harm her. Ariel has been so strong to open up about what she's gone through with her mother, and thankfully she's had the help of a woman named Sharon Stacks. Sharon was one of Ariel's teachers for her schooling because she was working as a child, so she had a tutor, and this woman noticed that something wasn't right with her mother, Crystal. Sharon actually spoke to the Hollywood Reporter and told them that Ariel was never given enough food and that she would buy extra food to make sure that Ariel would be eating. She explained that she would make sure Ariel had a good lunch. I would order a couple of lunches in my name so Ariel could eat one of them. I could tell she was hungry. A lot of these child stars like Jeanette McCurdy, they've come forward and claimed that they've suffered with eating because they're pressured to look young, to look underdeveloped. So once you're in your teenage years, things happen, and to try to stop those or to slow them down, you will stop eating so that your body just doesn't grow. It also doesn't help that Sharon realized that Ariel was sleep deprived. Her mother would keep her out late at these ridiculous parties. She was 12 and 13 years old and then had to be on set at 6:30, 7 in the morning. You guys will see throughout this video that Sharon has been sort of like a motherly figure to Ariel, which is interesting because she met her just through working as her teacher, but she's truly stepped up for this girl. When Ariel was able to get out of her relationship with her mother and out of that messy situation, they started to realize that she was in a ton of debt. I mean, she was supposed to be making $23,000 an episode, but she was in debt. And she was also behind on her school, so Sharon helped her out. But we need to talk a little bit more about what Crystal put Ariel through, because I can't believe that this mother has done this to her own daughter, and she denies everything, publicly denies her, which we'll get into that in a minute, but let's talk about what Ariel went through. So Ariel claims that she was emotionally and physically harmed by her mother, and she was oversexualized at a young age. One quote that Ariel has made in reference to her mother was about her being a 12-year-old girl and how her mother would let her do something inappropriate in the workplace. Here's that clip.
"When I was 12, if there was going to be a nude scene when I was that age, my mother would have 1,000% said yes."
That is such a disgusting thought to have. And honestly, it makes me think about the Sprouse twins, because they had some intimate scene where they had to dress as a woman. Honestly, Hollywood has no boundaries. And Ariel's mother would put her in skimpy clothing. She would be wearing short dresses and mini skirts, and people would think that she was 24 years old when she was just 12 years old. From the age of 7, Ariel recalls how she was sexualized, wearing sailor suits and low-cut things. And again, she believes that her mother would have put her in an inappropriate scene if she could make some money off of her, because I mean, ultimately, Ariel didn't want to act. Something else I found out about Ariel's mother as I was doing research was the fact that she wouldn't let her daughter, Ariel, have friends. Could you imagine being homeschooled and then when you're on set, you're not allowed to talk to the other girls because females are competition? That's what she was quoted saying. That's how some people see it. So the pressure to land jobs were intense, and she can't go and speak and hang out with other girls because those are her competition. Those aren't her friends. So when she means isolation, like it seems like true isolation. And Ariel deserved better. She was doing so well in her career, and deep down she knew that this wasn't right. The studio was even quoted saying that she was so intelligent. She's a great actress. She delivers time and time again. So she does deserve better. Why isn't she getting better? Even with a huge production and all of these people on set, no one could really see what Ariel was going through except for Sharon. And pretty much Sharon and Ariel figured out a plan. In 2012, Ariel told Sharon that she was ready. She was scared, but she knew that she needed this to happen. Sharon ended up calling CPS, Child Protective Services, and reported Ariel's situation to them. Ariel was prepared to go into foster care at this point because she just wanted to get out of her home. Well, thankfully, Ariel had an older sister, almost double her age, that she can go to. Her name is Chanel, and you guys might be wondering, where was Chanel this entire time? Why didn't you go and save Ariel from this mess? But they had only ever met a couple of times, so they weren't ever really close. And remember, I started off this video by sharing that Ariel claims that they all kind of went through their own thing and then they separated. They had to deal with it, by themselves. And this was kind of like Ariel's connection to her older sister that she never really knew. So in 2014, Chanel was granted custody of Ariel, and she was able to go and move with her. They actually, she moved into Fairfax, Virginia, I believe. That's where they're from, because I'm from the same area. It's actually crazy how Fairfax has been put onto the map because of the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, but actually Ariel is from Fairfax, and I remember going into like a Panera and seeing her there one time. So yeah, we were just around the same area, and that's where I believe her sister lived, and that's where she moved out to. But Ariel was going through a lot at this point, and the public was all over this custody situation.
The 14-year-old has been in the temporary custody of her sister since October, after telling a judge she was physically and emotionally abused by her real-life mom, Chrysula Workman.
After Ariel moved in with her sister, she started working on the emancipation process. If you guys don't know what emancipation means, here's a clip of Ariel is emancipated, but there was a fight in court because her mother is denying everything. But thankfully, Ariel was able to get enough support to block her mother from interfering in her life.
Overnight, GMA obtained court documents that show a judge ordered Ariel's mother to have no contact with her daughter's professional relationships and business contacts.
Ariel was quoted saying, "I moved in with my sister when I was 14, and I lived with her until I was 18. I did all the real high school things. That was amazing. That was so much fun. I kind of caught up on the childhood I never really had because she was constantly acting and working, and her mom was obviously a mess." And after emancipating herself, Ariel actually started working on her relationship with her father. Ariel shared that her father was there when she was little, but he was sort of absent during her Hollywood career. Then when she moved in with her sister, she had the chance to connect with him again, and they hang out like 4 times a week. And that's really important that she has a good relationship with her father because her mother is a slithering snake, and she's gone on a media tour trashing Ariel. Her mother, Crystal, was interviewed by In Touch, and she said that Ariel needs to grow up. "I would tell her to dress properly and to be the beautiful person she is. I feel sad that she feels the need to expose herself when it's not necessary." Ariel actually tweeted in response to this that her mother's toxic and shouldn't be doing media. She's doing just fine. Like, leave me alone, Mom.
Her mother cannot be a part of her finances, a part of her projects, really a part of her life.
Ariel Winter's father will now help manage her finances.
Thankfully, she has her father there to help her and to help her with her money because her mom like spent it all. Like, isn't that against the law? But her mom has really gone on a media tour trying to defend herself. But it's just like, it leaves such a bad taste in my mouth. It seems very defensive and almost like the mother's excited to have the spotlight.
Did you dress your daughter as a child in inappropriate clothing?
No, I didn't. I don't know what she's talking about. I really don't.
Here, a young Ariel wears a gold mini dress and heels to a premiere.
As a mom, do you think that this was an appropriate dress for your 10-year-old to wear on a red carpet?
Yes, of course. She's one of the stars of the premiere. She's wearing a dress that's adorable. You don't see any other part of her body except her cute little legs.
Her cute little legs, like, oh, it just makes me cringe inside because there's no accountability. There's a lot of like denial, and we can look back on pictures and see that like that's a little risky for a young kid. And Ariel has shared a bit about her mother, but she's kind of slowed down a bit because she claims that she's going to give her mom the respect that she never got, which I think is very grown and kind of savage. Heard that clip correctly because Ellen shared that her mother went on to Dr. Phil, which is like, oh my gosh, that is so nasty offensive. Like, we don't like Dr. Phil on this channel. I'm working on a big video about Dr. Phil. We already have one on Ellen. We don't really like Ellen either. But anyways, Dr. Phil is not the one to go to when you're trying to declare your innocence. And if you guys watch this episode, when I watched the promo and some clips, I immediately knew that this woman is a terrible, terrible mother. So let's go ahead and watch this like little 30-second promo and show you guys what she's all about.
On an all-new Dr. Phil.
The bitter battle over Modern Family's Ariel Winter.
Did you spend a lot of Ariel's money on yourself?
No.
The accusations.
Did you abuse your daughter at any time?
An exclusive with Ariel's mother.
Did your older daughter make similar claims against you?
She did. This is about Ariel, but Chanel, her older sister, like she made claims about her mother too. It's like, when there's smoke, there's fire, okay?
And her childhood friend.
To have Ariel do a complete 180 and just stab her mom in the back like that, I just don't respect her.
America's most watched talk show.
All new Dr. Phil.
She literally had her friend there. How much of a snake? Could you imagine your mother doing an episode like this, like an expose, and then you've got your friend from like your hometown, probably a nobody that you don't even talk to, like, oh, she switched up on her mom. Like, that is just so nasty, manipulative. Like, I would never forgive my mom for that. That's like exactly what Ariel was saying earlier. Like, you're not trying to make this better. Like, that's obviously you are not trying to make this better for anyone. So here's my email if you guys have any other video ideas for me. I'm waiting for my packages to come, but packages will be open soon, and I'll see you guys in a new video. Bye guys.